2 miles novice chase, the racing post Arkle, blink and you miss it. This really is a sight to behold. If you're at the festival, get yourself down at the start. As Davy will tell you, I'm sure they don't go quicker in any other race in the world than they do down to the first in this race. And it's a really interesting race this year. Like, if you look back in recent years, we've had nods on chance every year. We've had 5 or 6 unbeaten horses in the race. It's got a very different feel to it this year, guys, in that every horse in there seems to have a point to prove. Lalor looked a superstar before getting beaten. Davy has been a bit in and out. Kalashnikov, another horse with a point to prove. Not the Noose, a fantastic performance at Newbury, then fallen twice subsequently. I think the only horse in there that you could say is on the constant improve is GLEN FORSA for me, who seems to do nothing wrong, and that performance beating Kalashnikov 18-20 lengths last time out was breathtaking. And I think the only horse I can find in there without a point to prove, and the horse that I think should be favourite, would be that. Alastair, I'll let you have the floor.
Why is Lalor favourite?
I think the performance at Cheltenham back end of last year, I think there's something remarkable about the time being quicker than when Sprinter Sacra won the Queen Mother or something crazy like that, and visually it was very impressive. I think it's more wide open than the betting suggests. We've recently lost RICHEBOURG, which was a real shame, and that was one of the big Irish hopes for the week, and Davy will touch on the Irish stronghold in this race shortly, but Alastair, come on.
Well, look, your point about GLEN FORSA as well, mate, just goes on doing it. Started off being underrated, now has come into his own in terms of the market esteem, for sure. Kalashnikov's been a disappointment to me over fences. I've only just finished paying for it getting beaten Supreme last year. Not like I go on about it much.
It's not like the winner didn't hit 8 of the hurdle on the way round as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to see Kalashnikov bounce back, but GLEN FORSA looks the kind of tedious professional option.
I mean, the great strength of GLEN FORSA is his jumping as well, isn't it? It's a sight to behold when in full flow. Toby, you've normally got the favourite in this race every year, or the second favourite, and
not represented.
I'd like to know.
Somebody make a mess of the entry.
When was the last time the boss didn't have a runner in the Arkle?
Oh, I can tell you.
It was during the Suez crisis. 56.
Foot and mouth when it was cancelled, wasn't it? I adore Lalor. I mean, I really, really adore Lalor. I think, actually, probably raw ability wise, has the most amount of ability of any horse in the race. But I'm so impressed with GLEN FORSA, and his profile coming in Cheltenham has been brilliant. I can't necessarily pick between them. I wouldn't be surprised if Lalor bounced back after that defeat earlier on in the season. I think he's an unbelievably good horse, and if she can get him right, that would be absolutely outstanding. I hope she does. And I hope she does. Yeah.
Well, Davy, if we're saying at this stage of the English there's no visible superstar, the Irish don't have a short price favourite like they normally do. It's either a Mullins or a Henderson, but there's plenty of Irish horses in here. Paloma Blue or Nua, Hard Line. What's your take on the Irish at this stage?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Obviously, Joseph's horse was well ahead of everything, and
it's a real shame we lost him.
Yeah, RICHEBOURG. He had set the standard. I suppose, look, Paloma Blue lacks experience. Felt as a hurdler, he was fourth in the Supreme Novices last year. Felt as a hurdler, he was only going to do anything but improve for a fence. He's taken his time about it, but he has been scoring very, very well at home. So there is that unknown with him. Ornua, I think, is a very interesting horse.
Second behind Dynamite Dollars, isn't it?
That's right. Obviously, we lost Dynamite Dollars to the race as well. Yeah. So, really what we're dealing with here is the seconds of what were going to be the favourites in the likes of RICHEBOURG and Dynamite Dollars. And you're dealing with Ornua, Hardline. The only worry I have about GLEN FORSA is that he started his career over 2 miles 7. Now, I do love a horse dropping back in trip. That's not a worry for me, but it's a long way from a 2 mile 7 to an Arkle, and there is an awful lot of fast horses in this race with the likes of Arkle Novice and them, and just slight worry is that let stamina come into play, but whether he'll be able to lie into them early on, or whether he'll use his stamina to lie into them early on. That's my only worry. After seeing all that, I think at the way it is, I think Arnua, Henry de Bromhead, excellent horse to jump, travel. The only worry is I'm confident he may not have his regular rider on board in Dylan Robinson, so whoever's going to ride him may have to ride him for the first time over fences. And that to me, but he's on a huge long break, which suits Henry's horses. He's getting there fresh, trained, especially for the race. So for me, I'm going to stay with Arnua from the outside. And it's amazing that GLEN FORSA and Arnua by the same sire in Lalor, who wouldn't be renowned to have 2 mile chasers.
Well, might have first and second and an half. William, what's your take?
It's an interesting race in that we saw the pace element of last year's race where they went too quick up front.
I don't think so.
No, someone's sitting close to me.
Far too quick.
Yeah, so St Carlos.
What are those kids doing in front of it? I believe it wasn't the bottom.
But I think that this year you've got a lot of pace, more so than ever. I mean, you look at like Ornua,
but you say that, Bill, and from a jockey's point of view, you could end up low at the start, but all of them think there's going to be a lot of pace.
All of you will sit in way.
And nobody makes the running. It has happened more than you would imagine.
Yeah, well,
I don't think Jamie will be able to stop Knock the News. So.
Yeah, well, my theory being that's what my worry with GLEN FORSA, whether if he's got horses going really quick in front of him, whether he can lay up with him, like you say. Whichever one of those front ones, like Ornua, is ridden with a tiny bit more constraint, would probably be the one. So, if I had to, looking at the value, I'd love to see Lalor win. The way the race will be run might play to his hands a bit like when he won here early in the season. But I think probably at the prices, Ornua would probably be the value.
Okay, so the selection will be Ornua for you. The best of the Irish, most likely Ornua for you, Davy. The best of the English, if you had to be pressed.
Me, probably the way the race is going to be run, I think Lalor. I think, yeah. I rode him over hurdles. He's a very, very impressive horse, and for connections, he's a fantastic horse. I think he's the one.
We know you're Lalor, or Lawler, or however we're pronouncing it. Probably 6 different ways in the last minute and a half. Alastair?
GLEN FORSA, although I'm interested very much in Davy's case for Ornua.
I think I'll get murdered if I don't put up Knock the Noose, but I think the horse I would side with is GLEN FORSA in the Arkle. But whatever you're interested in, all the prices for the Arkle, along with every other race at the Cheltenham Festival, are on the website at starsports.bet. Get yourself on there, and we'll make sure you're more than well looked after for the festival.